Thanks, Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Infrastructure and Transport. Minister, how will the government's infrastructure investment plans help commuters travelling from Sydney's west to the city, and how will they help move freight quicker into Port Botany, and how do these plans compare to other proposals?
The Minister for Infrastructure and Transport has the call.
I thank the member for Chifley for his question. Indeed, I was with the member for Chifley and other Western Sydney members with the Prime Minister last week, where we announced our commitment to help build the M5 and M4 extensions. We want to work with the New South Wales Government to achieve real improvements to Sydney's motorways. The current New South Wales proposal has a number of weaknesses in it, and we are insisting that they be fixed. That's the way that you do good infrastructure development. Get your business plan in place first and then get your funding commitments made. The three commitments that we have made are this. One, that the M4 has to take people into the city. Two, that the M5 has to take freight to the port. And three, that you can't have new tolls on old roads. And that is a common sense position that people in Western Sydney understand. That is why we've contributed $25 million announced in last year's budget to enable the business case to be developed, because it is very clear that we need to get the planning in the project right first time in order to ensure there is proper use of taxpayers' funds. Now, Premier O'Farrell has a bit more work to do. First, he said the City Connection would go to Camperdown. Next, he said, in today's Daily Telegraph, the City Connection would go only as far as Petersham in an op-ed. Next week, it might be Ashfield. One thing I do know is that Camperdown and Petersham aren't in the city, and I do know that taking a freight connection to the side of Sydney Airport closest to St Peters doesn't get freight to the port. King Street Newtown is not a thoroughfare. It is a roadblock. And unless we get this right the first time, it will simply fail. And indeed, I noticed that the Liberal candidate for Lindsay took out a full-page ad last week saying the M4 East extension will complete the missing link between Western Sydney and the city. She quotes the Leader of the Opposition supporting our policy. And yet, last week when asked was it a condition, he wasn't sure. It was, it wasn't, it was, it wasn't. He needs to come clean to the people of Western Sydney. They can't have it both ways. You can't have Premier O'Farrell saying we're going to build a road to Petersham with federal money and have this Leader of the Opposition pretending that this road is going to take people into the city. He indeed has described his own commitment he's made in these advertisements as being an impossible condition for federal funds.